Preparing meals isn't the easiest thing to do in a millennial's life when they have a busy schedule. Most find it hard to find the time to cook for themselves on a daily basis. I went to look at 3 different millennials prepare a meal for themselves and look at how they fit this into their daily schedule. I talked to 3 participants for this. Juanita, a 21-year-old female who was a full-time student with 2 jobs. Peter, also 21, a full-time student who is active with his fraternity and his job. And lastly, Parker, a 21-year-old full-time student with 2 jobs, an internship, and is also active with his fraternity. I visited Juanita first, who I caught around dinner time a few hours after she got back from work.
So I'm making buttered noodles with Parmesan cheese because I have butter and Parmesan cheese at the oven. Okay. And I'm also stealing noodles from my roommate because I have not had time to grocery shop because I work 40 hours a week and I have classes. And also
So how often do you cook for yourself during the week?
It depends. I don't know, probably like 4, 5 times a week, I guess. I usually have breakfast here.
She started first by filling up the pot with water and putting it on the stove. She added a little bit of olive oil just so the noodles wouldn't stick together. She proceeded to measure out the noodles and then put them in the pot, and we waited for them to cook. So how long have you been cooking meals for yourself?
I don't know, since I was like 14.
How'd you learn how to cook?
My mom tells me to make things.
When you cook for yourself, do you try a bunch of different type of recipes, or do you typically stick to the same few things that you usually like to make?
I usually stick to the same things
Why is that?
because I know how to make them.
Once the noodles were done boiling, she took it off the stove and dumped out all of the excess water. She added a little bit of butter, mixed it around, and then topped it off with some Parmesan cheese.
We're about to cook some scrambled eggs and bacon, and we got cage-free large white grade A eggs. And we got bacon in tin foil and milk and Pam.
How often do you cook breakfast for yourself?
Like 4 days out of the week.
He added a little bit of milk to make the eggs extra fluffy when he cooked them. Your mom teach you how to cook?
Most things, yeah. And then I learned from the chef at the restaurant I work at. Bam. And that's eggs and bacon.
So what are you making?
Grilled cheese.
Yeah, what kind of bread?
White Italian bread.
Okay, and what kind of cheese are you using?
Mexican style.
He first started buttering both sides of the bread. How often do you cook for yourself during the week?
Like maybe 2 or 3 nights.
He put both slices on the pan and then added the Mexican style cheese on top. He had to use shredded because he didn't have any sliced cheese. So who taught you how to cook?
Probably my mom or the Food Network.
Okay. He put the slices together and grilled both sides of them. He decided he was going to add a little bit of Parmesan cheese on top. The key findings that I ended with were that most millennials do not have the time to cook for themselves. All the millennials that I interviewed all learned how to cook from their mothers or outside sources. They mostly cook less for themselves and tend to eat out more, and the meals they prepared for themselves were more simple and quick, not as complex. Some of the recommendations that I have are that we should offer quick and healthy options as alternatives to eating out. We should make more options for pre-made food and delivery services targeted to university students since they're typically busy. We should promote things based around a motherly feel and give the sense of a home-cooked meal.